Good afternoon and welcome to the Sailplane Grand Prix on day 2 here in sunny Santiago in Chile. Who's this?
Yes, this is Marcus.
Marcus?
Yes, he flies very often with me.
Yeah.
And if I make some mistakes, he says to me.
Is he not your tactician?
It is what?
Your tactician, does he not tell you where to go?
He is a little stupid.
The story of the race today, Brian, was?
The start was a little bit tricky, particularly for Luca getting up, and he got a little bit left behind. But I think that everybody else got a good clean start on the first day with good tactics, all managing to stick together as a pack and setting off down the first leg.
Yeah, no penalties, which was good.
No penalties for the first start today. And we can see that there's a little bit of cagey flying. The tactics are, let's see what everybody else is doing while we get this race underway.
A climb halfway down the first leg brought all of the fleet together. Even Luca managed to catch up.
Yeah, he came in at the bottom. Unfortunately, he didn't. It was a good climb, and he didn't catch up with the group of gliders, which then set off, led by Didier, down this first leg.
Yeah. Didier was pushing on hard to the first turn point, but ended up going left and low, where the other group managed to stay high and right.
The first leg was mostly just technique, staying in the right place, flying at the right speed, and sticking together. There was no big decisions, no big difficult parts on the first leg.
Coming into the first turn point, the decision then was to either go left or right. Everybody went and followed the left-hand route.
And
Coming into the bottom mark, this was the key decision, whether you went left or right back up the valley. And Sebastian Cava and Antonio went left and got stuck. Going right was Sebastian Nagel and Werner Arman, and that made the difference.
And they managed to climb considerably higher, and they took the turning point with enough altitude to arrive at the next high point and scrape their way over the top at 3,500 meters.
And didn't turn again, all the way home.
From that moment on, it was a real race. Foot to the floor, 200 kilometers an hour, hugging the ridges all the way back.
Absolutely neck and neck as they go through turn point 4. Heading down the valley with the mountain ridge on the left hand side all the way down to turn point 5.
And they split into two very exciting pairs. We had Sebastian Negli and Werner Ammann sticking together in front, and the second pair
of Giorgio Galetto and Sebastian Cava.
And I think they were having real fun down this leg. It was a question of tactics. Could I close the gap? Could I get a little bit higher to just cross the line a second quicker?
Sebastian Nagel with just a little bit more performance from the Ventus 3, just overhauling Werner Arman as they went through turn point 5.
And quite interesting that in the run-up to the turning point, Sebastian was holding back and getting a little height, and he pushed forward, and once he got in front of him, there was no chance of Werner catching him up after that. Onto the last ridge, you can see absolutely together, only a few hundred meters apart and pretty much the same altitude. Almost impossible now for Werner to get in front of Sebastian at this point.
Meanwhile, Sebastian Nagli stretching his lead now to nearly a kilometre over Werner Arman as he takes the penultimate turn.
And the penultimate turn is not far from the airfield. The game's over. He's not going to catch him in that 1 kilometre, and it gave us a very exciting finish on the first day. We know that the most of the pilots had dropped back quite a long way at this point. there was quite a large group behind who weren't enjoying this fantastic finish where Sebastian crossed the line.
So confirmation there, Sebastian in first place, followed by Werner Arman in second.
And Sebastian Kawa in third place. A great day's racing for these guys today, and we're looking forward to another great day tomorrow.
So Sebastian, congratulations first across the line today. Hopefully no penalty points, so you're the day's winner. Tell us a bit about your flight.
The start was a little bit tricky because the cloud base was really low, so I can't get maximum 2,200 meter. But the problem was that the start altitude was also 2,200 meter. And I stayed at the first hills, and there was a lot of moisture, so big clouds are coming. And then we all of us catched a wave or something like that to go up before the clouds up to 3,100 meters. So I was really relaxed then before the start line. Then we went to the start together all. I think my start was really great. I started with 167 in the maximum altitude, so I was on the top. And then the ridge run began. And in the first terminal I go also with Sebastian Cava on the top, go forward, and then there was two tricky turn points. And for me I was thinking in the briefing, you can manage this if you stay up all the time. So I circled sometimes and the other were ridge running. So I get, and I think that was the trick on the end, because we go straight with Werner Ammann, make a final glide, and the other guys had to go around the mountains. Yeah.
So when you got to the northernmost turn point on the way home, the pack sort of split into two. You went on the westerly side and seemed to have a much better run with Werner.
Yeah, it was great because the wind was really strong in the heights. We had 30 km per hour at the moment. And that's also that if you stay high, you have a lot of headwind, so you're faster. Yeah, and now you're here.
And then there was a race between the ASG 29 and the Ventus 3 on the way home. And you managed to pull away.
Yeah. It's Werner said it's die neue Technik. Yeah, so the new glider is better than his ASG. So I'm happy to fly the Ventus here.
Congratulations.